icy box, we have GoOdy.
Very nice. And in the top left corner of the map, our only Dutch player of today still standing in this group, it is mYi's JayPower.
And yeah, I guess not a lot of people would be expecting JayPower to have such a good shot at making it out of this group, but you know, he only needs to win one more game against GoOdy in order to advance.
Definitely. I am excited to see what will happen. Because like I said, I feel I'm kind of, it's kind of justified if I'm biased towards Dutch players, right? I can be biased if I want. So I like it if Dutch players make it out. But of course, GoOdy is also a player who can really draw a crowd, and he's a very well-known player. And I like to see his games, because like we've said before, he's not the type, he's kind of different from many other of these pro gamers. He plays his own pace, he plays his own style, and unlike other people who say that, no, this style will not work, he makes it work. And I like that.
I just realized how cool it would be to have the Panzer General at our offline finals. You know, having traveled to the Netherlands and everything, that would be so funny.
I got his autograph once. I was back in 2011. That was. I went to DreamHack in Sweden. And I was walking around with some buddies, and we saw GoOdy standing in line to get a sandwich or something. And so there were people standing around. Of course, they weren't StarCraft players or people who watched StarCraft. They didn't know who he was. So we went up to him and we were like, "Oh, GoOdy, can we get your autograph?" I said, "Yeah, sure." He said, "Sure." And then as we walked away, so all the other people in line just looking at him like, "Who is this guy? Should we know him?" That was fun.
Yeah, esports is a very interesting community in its own, with its own celebrities, and that other people probably do not know yet. It's also, you also learn very quickly that the people who are considered celebrity status are also just people. Like,
definitely,
it's like they're celebrities, but no one's an actual celebrity. Like, there's no one really rolling in money. You know,
Stefano.
Yeah, or Flash maybe.
Well, actually, Flash dropped out of Code A again, right?
Yeah, so that's really disappointing for him. But you know, it's kind of the way the cookie crumbles in StarCraft, and if anyone knows about that, it's him.
Yeah, definitely. Flash, of course, a very famous Korean pro StarCraft player. Played Brood War and was one of the bourgeois, is what it's called, so people who dominated the scene for a prolonged period of time. In StarCraft 2, he has not managed to do the same, although his results are definitely not shady.
Yeah, it seems almost impossible to be as dominant as some people are in StarCraft as they were in earlier games. Like Warcraft 3, we had a very dominant few players, such as, of course, Grubby, Moon, Sky, the whole line. It just doesn't happen anymore. I'm not sure if that's part of the game or part of something else. Maybe there's more players, people playing more active. But
I've got a question for you though. Like the first true StarCraft Brood War bourgeois, right? When would you say those arose? Was that maybe 1 or 2 years after the release of the game, or was it maybe 5, 6 years before the first people stood up who actually dominated the scene for a long time?
I'm not sure when the term bourgeois was coined. I do know that one of the first, I think, actual dominant players was a foreigner. It was Guillaume Patry, otherwise known as Gur. He was from Quebec in Canada, and he traveled to Korea and still lives there. I think he plays poker these days. And yeah, I think he dominated the scene for quite a bit, but I guess the only one, the next one was probably Boxer, but they were around pretty early.
Okay, so you wouldn't say that it's just that StarCraft 2 hasn't been around long enough for someone to truly rise up and claim a position of dominance.
I guess the game is just more volatile. Maybe it's the death ball mechanic or something that means that players are less likely to stand out. Maybe micro doesn't impact the game as much as it did in Brood War or Warcraft 3. Maybe it's things like that. Maybe people are just too good, you know.
That's also possible. Too good, yeah. Yeah, but still, yeah, in most other sports, like chess, for example, you see people dominate or be at the top of their of the class, so to say, in chess for a very long time. And I'm not sure in StarCraft whether we have these people who have been active since the very beginning of StarCraft and are still, relevant to this day. Yeah,
I guess one of the contributing factors perhaps is the fact that you cannot really cheese in chess against a top level player, whereas you certainly can in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, so StarCraft is definitely not exactly like chess because of this whole part where you cannot see the entire board, right? So in chess you can see the entire playing field, and in StarCraft you cannot. So this is where a whole new, like a level of play comes in, where people are, playing the other player and not playing the game, so to say. Of course, this also happens in chess, but the thing is, you can play a bit of poker in StarCraft, thinking, well, he doesn't see what I'm doing now, let's take a gamble this way. Of course, in chess, you could also take gambles like that and hope that your opponent doesn't understand what you're doing, but that's a different kind of, you know, playing it hidden.
Yeah, you can. Information is not a resource in chess, whereas it is in poker and StarCraft. Actually, looking at the game at this stage, both players have gone relatively unharassed. There was, of course, some Reaper harass. And now we have GoOdy. Once again, he's going to go for that Marine tank medevac push, which he did against Sphere as well, which was, you know, it really got him a lot of map control.
Of course, JayPower sees the entire move out with his observer, which was positioned very nicely atop the ramp.
Yeah, and he needs to defend like crazy. Like, he has double photon overcharge, and he's adding on more gates, which is good. The Immortal can prove very effective here. But the one thing he needs to be really aware of is not getting his army caught. Like, if he gets caught out of position, he will be in trouble. And these Stalkers in a straight-up fight do not stand a chance against what GoOdy is now currently on the map with.
This is very scary, because what if GoOdy decides to drop a few units in the main base? Then JayPower has to decide really quickly how to split off his army. Oh, he takes out one of the Widow Mines. That's actually very nice.
Yeah, he took out an SCV. I thought it might have been a Widow Mine. Oh, he misclicked there twice. Wait, he took out the second one as well?
This is very nice. Look at this. So, ooh, this defense from JayPower is great. It's actually so good that GoOdy's not even attacking.
Yeah, he got his gates up in time and started making adequate units just in time. JayPower is going to heavily rely on his micro now, though, because the firepower from GoOdy, his forces are just you know, so high. And still, I don't think JayPower, has he even lost a single unit? Yeah, pro. That's it.
That's it. So JayPower is playing a very, very good game so far, holding off the pressure. Very good, in a very fancy way. He's up in probes, he's up in supply. Looking good for a Dutch Pro-House player.
Yep, and now he's retaking map control, taking control of the watchtower. Needs to be aware of drops, though, potentially. His one observer inside of his main is kind of out of position. And there is actually a Banshee heading for his main, but JayPower, like magic, is also adding on a photon cannon in both of his bases. So
and he has
really
an
nice
observer.
position here.
So the cloak research from GoOdy will not do that much. These Banshees, this Banshee will be able to cloak in just a little bit, in another 15 seconds actually. But the cloak will not help him, as there is detection available in JayPower's base.
Yeah, and the firepower from the photon cannon will mostly negate the damage that the Banshee can do. There is a Twilight Council upgrading Blink as well. I'm surprised at the low amount of gates. I guess JayPower realizes that GoOdy is the passive player and will not do a standard bio timing. So he doesn't really need to worry about that standard 10-minute timing. And as he is playing against mech. So right now all JayPower really has to do, I feel, is take bases and yeah, just defend.
Yep, and GoOdy has realized that he can't do anything with his Banshee except maybe poke at this one pylon to the edge of the base. Oh, actually, if it does this long enough, it might get taken out by the Stalker. One more shot.
Oh, Stalker can actually not blink down yet because it's not done, but he does save the pylons for now. Look at the production tab. GoOdy is producing 5 Hellions at the same time along with Blue Flame, and now adding double starport. So this seems to be that unorthodox mech composition that he seems to be going for, with a lot of Blue Flame Hellions. JayPower has quite a few Stalkers, but Stalkers are not a good unit to make against mech in general unless you really have to. I would like to see a tech switch from GoOdy, from JayPower, perhaps into Stargate, or he should, yeah, okay, he's going to go into Templar, but still, Phoenixes would add on something very nicely because there are no Vikings out for GoOdy, just Banshees.
GoOdy's been catching up really nicely. He was up in supply just now and also up in workers. So GoOdy is definitely showing that he is a player to be reckoned with. Not sitting back and being content with being behind. Actually, no.
Yeah, I think it's good here that JayPower is the one being aggressive and forcing GoOdy's hand. Of course, he needs to really know where and when to attack. Like, forcing these kinds of defensive moves from GoOdy is fine. It causes him to slip up his macro and distorts his plans. Whereas it puts JayPower in a very nice position. He needs to realize, though, that GoOdy can counterattack. There's only one cannon, though, at the third of JayPower. That's not enough.
No,
like, these
4 Hellions will be able
gonna
to do some damage, especially with all these probes stacked up so close together.
Oh, he needs to warp in immediately. One Stalker. Oh no, he's stacking all the
Don't
probes.
line them up!
Oh, but the micro from JayPower is not all that good. Oh my god, shit. And one Hellbat here makes a run for it and might actually go for it. JayPower kind of panicking and pulling back his entire army to take out this one Hellbat and a few more a few more probes. But he has a lot of chronos actually, so he can actually save these up, you know, re-chrono these rather nicely, and he should end on a few more cannons and take a fourth. Especially the fourth is very important because he needs to be ahead on economy. And whoa, so many gates being added off of JayPower. I'm not sure if I like that.
4 gates. So do you think instead of expanding, he's going to go for some aggression? He's actually he hallucinated some Colossi. Was that when the Hellions were attacking the 3rd base?
Maybe.
Maybe to trick GoOdy into thinking that he needed Vikings?
That might be the thing, but it doesn't really seem to be doing all that much for him. GoOdy in his current position in the game is looking rather well. Like his army's composition is coming along very nicely.
Look at this. GoOdy is bunkered up as usual, man.
Yeah, he's holding the line on 3 base, very comfortable. We have now +3 attack finishing up for the Protoss, which is quite tough. I like the immortal count.
Uh-oh, the Warp Prism.
I think you should stop making... Oh, wait, oh, he got taken out, right?
Okay, so JayPower is hiding part of his army. Did you see that? He pulled back part of his army so that GoOdy would not see all of it.
Yeah, that's actually a very smart move. Like,
but look at the amount of Archons and Immortals. This army is so powerful.
It is very powerful, but still, if you move it into a siege tank line like this, it gets vaporized rather quickly. JayPower's composition, once again, I'm not sure if I like it. The Immortals are really good, and charge lots, they close the distance. But in this case, they will probably be closing the distance with Hellbats, which take care of them rather quickly. Looking at the upgrades though, there's no armor for the Protoss, and I'm not sure if that's all that good. I also think JayPower should really be taking a fourth, seeing how passive GoOdy is being.
Yeah, you're right. Take advantage of GoOdy's playstyle in terms of taking liberties with expansions.
Yeah, he is sending a probe along to check for extra expansions.
There we go. There's some Hellions from behind.
But this time there are more cannons in position, which is really nice for JayPower. The first Hellion dies really quickly, and this time the harass gets shut down without too many problems. Ooh, he's gonna lose an observer though at the 4th. That's a shame.
That's a shame. Flying into a missile turret.
Okay.
Of course, it's so very hard. Yeah, go ahead.
This 4th is currently undefended. Oh my god, look at the Banshee count. I don't think...
Sheesh.
Oh
boy.
How many observers are there?
And they're cloaked. There's no observer nearby.
Oh, that's a problem. Definitely.
Immediate retreat.
You should immediately retreat, not take this fight. Where are the observers? There's one on the map, but it's currently all the way at the mainness. So all GoOdy needs to do is take these Banshees and start attacking. But no, JayPower is actually going to fight. When GoOdy doesn't know that there is no observer. Oh, but he's pumping up so much now the Stalkers.
Oh my god! No, look at the meat grinder! Oh!
The Immortals are just crushing through all the... But there's no anti-air. These Banshees... Okay, the Archons are actually doing quite nice amount of damage against the uncloaked Banshees, but still only 4 or 5 Archons now. And now he needs to pick up these Immortals really, really fast.
Those Stalkers from JayPower, they just melted as they blunk into the tank line. That was very painful to see.
Oh, and here's the observer. We have Stalkers focusing down the Banshees, and I think we have no more Banshees left here for our Terran. His army is completely dwindled, and how can he deal with these 7 Immortals? Well, he cannot. Okay, there's one tank in the high ground, which for some reason... Wait,
he can't spot it!
Did the observer fly into another...
Oh my god!
Oh, but he's just gonna brute force his way up the ramp, and he says, screw this, I'm just gonna kill you. I'm gonna sit on top of all your production with these Immortals.
GG!
JayPower takes it.
Oh wow, congratulations to JayPower.